Hello, my friends. I decided to do a little introduction to the embellishment video you're about to watch because I decided to upload it upside down so you could be watching like me paint over my shoulder rather than upside down. So the very beginning of the video and the end of the video will be upside down because that's the way I filmed it. But the majority of it, the important part, will be right side up. I hope that makes sense, and I hope you enjoy the video. Let's get to it. Hello, my friends. Well, I've been painting bumblebees today, and I left one to paint with you. I know there's a glare on here. Let me hold it up and bring you a little closer, and you can see this is the real color. Here, it's darker. And you can see the bees I've done so far. This one obviously is the one I'll be working on today. And there's the other ones. I'm still working on them a little bit as I move along. I do something on one bee that looks good, so I'll add it to the rest, and we'll see. I may not be done with them, but they're coming along pretty good. So let me bring in a little closer and so you can get a good look as I paint. Actually, that's upside down. I've got to turn it this way. Okay. That should do, and there's not terrible glare for you. I hope there won't be one for me. Let me go around to the other side of the table. I spent a little time trying to understand what a bumblebee body is like. Basically, it's 3 sections: the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. But they're so round and fuzzy that it looks like one large oval. So they're pretty easy to paint, to be truthful. So I try to make them going all different directions. This one's going that way, this way, this way. This one's upside down, and this one's coming this way. So I thought this one I would like to have facing that one, kind of upward. I think that's about the only, well, that one. Anyway, that's how I'm going to do this one. So it's going to go in this space. I'm not really using the shape here because, I mean, it looks like a bee to me. This is the one that gave me the idea to do the bumblebees, but he's facing that way, and I want him to go this way. And what else? Oh, you may notice that around the rest of them I did these kind of petally things. Without them, it doesn't look like a flower, and I don't know that that does either, but it's very expressionistic flower suggestion, and I just think I like it. I think I like the way that looks. So I'm going to, these I added after I did the bees, but I think it would be best to add them now. So let's start with that, and I'm going to use my filbert brush. Oh, you're not going to be able to see the palette, but I'll bring it over if I do anything interesting. But right now I'm just dipping it into some white. Load it up with white. And I just started it on the chisel edge and then flattened it a bit and then brought it back in. That's all I did for those. So let me just do a few of them. This is, I guess, the focal point is pretty much in the center. Although this is probably my one on the far, well, you can't see it now. The one going off the canvas is probably the best one I did, but anyway, I'm going to brighten up some of these other ones. So chisel edge, flatten, and then pick up. I know there are flowers that look like this, have petals like this. I don't know what they are though. But it's just a suggestion. It's not really realist looking. I can always add more. I think I'll stop there for now. That's it. So that's the only time I'm going to use the filbert brushes for those petally things. Now I'm going to take a round brush and I'm going to make a gray with black and white. Don't really need to see that. I'm using a palette knife and mixing up a, oh, here, I'll bring this over. And mixing up some black and white to get a nice neutral gray. I'm going to use that and block in the shape of my bumblebee. So here's his, let's see, yeah, here's his head. I don't have enough paint on there. His head and his body, or his thorax rather, and then the biggest part is his abdomen. And the legs and the wings all come out of the thorax. When you look at one, it's kind of hard to tell because they're so fluffy. But anyway, that's his basic shape. Okay, now I'd like that to dry. I'm going to take that round brush, which I've cleaned off, and go into my white. And actually my white has quite a bit of yellow in it. I scraped up what I had over here and put it down here so I'd have some fresh color. And it's a little on the yellow side, but that's okay. I don't want white ultimately. So it's not quite dry, but I'm going to block in where the yellow is going to go. So it's right behind the head. Well, the head is black, and then there's a little bit of black, and then a stripe of yellow. And then there's a lot of black, and then a little more black on the abdomen part, and then more yellow. And I'm keeping it in this kind of a shape to indicate the roundness of the bee. Now I'll go into my straight yellow. I haven't cleaned the brush out, but I added yellow. And I'll just kind of dab in some yellow. Doesn't matter if it's bigger than what it'll end up because I can go over it with the black. Okay, now I'm going to pick up some more white. Or no, not yet. I'm going to mix some orange with red and yellow. That's too orange, so more yellow. That's good. Might still be a bit orange, but I'll just pick up some yellow in my brush and go in there. So now I have a yellow orange. And I'm going to dab some of that in on the kind of what we would call the shadow side of the bee. Okay, now I'm going into the kind of yellow white, more white than yellow. I'm going to dab some highlights on here. Pick up some more yellow. It's a little bit too white. Okay, that looks awfully weird at this point. All right, now I'm going in black. And look on his head. I'll start building up the roundness of the back. And kind of tapping in irregularly to kind of, you know, make it look like I guess it's hair. I'm certainly not an expert on bees, although I know more about them tonight than I did last night. Okay, now we can't, we have to add some gray to that, otherwise he looks too flat. So down here, they're kind of grayish white almost. So always working with keeping them a nice round shape. I made that gray, I blocked in his head too big, but let's put in some eyes like that, and don't like that. So let's see what to do about that. I have some of that color out here, this rich espresso. Let's just kind of cover that up. I probably could have wet the gray and removed it, but this is another way to correct a mistake. He's too bullet shaped. I'm going to make this one bigger. So I'm going to widen his body. Of course, without the legs and the wings, it looks very odd at this point. It's getting a little muddy. I've got to let it dry. I'll come back and work on the yellow some more and the black. Now let's switch to a liner brush and put some legs on there. Now the legs are, I think they're like 4 pieces, 4 segments, or 5 even if you count the little claw things at the end. But because their bodies are so fat, you only see 1, 2, and then the pinchery kind of thing. So I'm just gonna, and look at all, there's already one right there. That's pretty good. I might just build on that part that's in the pour. I love when that happens. The other side. I need more black. Sorry, I didn't have enough black on my palette. I put out very little because I hate to waste paint, and acrylic dries so quickly. So 1, 2, and then this weird little thing they got there. And let's see, the antenna. Okay, oh, more legs. Okay, of course. Can you hear my husband? He's quite tired today. Okay, then another leg coming out of here. This is a little bit bigger. Here's another segment of it. And the pinchery thing. And then the biggest one also comes out of here. And you're not really going to see the ones on the other side. Maybe a little bit. Well, you saw that one, and I could suggest it, but I'm not going to worry about the last one. All right, let's get back to this body, fix that up, and then we'll add the wings. Yeah, I need more I'm going into my yellow, white. I just brush mixed some yellow and white together. Brighten this up. Maybe a little orange. This is funny. I've been painting bees all day, and now the one I do in front of you, it's not very good. I'm going to take my flat brush, load it into the black, and I'm going to turn this a little bit. It's a little more comfortable for me. And I'm going to, maybe I'll try this, just kind of tapping in. Some hair. Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't see where oh man, I dropped my brush with black, but I don't think I did any damage. Hang on to your brushes. All right, he's coming along. We have another little yellowy stripe on the very back here, and then it turns white, but you're not going to be able to see the angle. See it at this angle. So, all right, he's better. I'm going to come back to the yellow in a second, but let's add just a touch of highlight on the legs. I'm making a going into the gray, and I'm going to add a little bit of red. Make kind of a brown, a grayish brown. And just hit those legs ever so slightly, just to add a little interest to them, make them a little more realistic. A little white, yellow, maybe yellowish white. Something with that eye a little bit more, a little better. Okay, now I think he's okay. Well, I need the yellow. I need to fix the yellow, and then we'll do the wings. So, yellow, white. Okay, I think he's okay now. Let's add the wings. The wings, I'm going to go to my flat brush, and I'm going to wet my paintbrush and go into some very thin whitish, yellowish gray right over here. And I'm just going to, let's see, his wings would be coming out of here. Of course, they're transparent, so that's why I thinned it down. I just want the indication of wings. I'm going into a little more solid white just to kind of hit and miss the shape a little bit more. This is hard to explain. I mean, I found the wings very challenging. But I think you could tell they're bumblebees. I might even go into some gold. I had some metallic gold and just kind of brush a little bit of that on there just to, on closer inspection, you might see some kind of iridescence. Oh. The wings, they're not that great. Okay. See, hopefully these little petal things will distract from the crummy wings. But anyway, I think that's sufficiently done. You get the idea. So there's the one I just painted. And now we'll pull back so you can see the whole thing. There we go. I think I'll call it Be Kind. We sure need that in this world today. Okay, my friends, stay well, be happy, and keep painting. Bye now.